What does a cold air intake do? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down one of the most popular and most misunderstood car modifications out there, the cold air intake. If you've ever wondered, does a cold air intake really add horsepower? Does it improve throttle response? Is it worth the money? Or is it just for sound? Stay tuned because today we're explaining everything in simple terms. First, what is a cold air intake? From the factory, most cars come with an airbox that pulls air from inside the engine bay. That system is designed to be quiet, reliable emissions compliant, cost-effective, but is not designed for maximum performance. A cold air intake replaces the stock airbox with a larger intake tube, a high-flow air filter, and a new air path that pulls colder air from outside the engine bay. The goal is simple: get colder, denser air into the engine. This is where the science comes in. Cold air is denser than hot air. Denser air contains more oxygen. More oxygen allows more fuel to be burned. More fuel plus more oxygen equals more power. Your engine is basically an air pump. The better it breathes, the more efficient and powerful it can be. That's the main theory behind a cold air intake. How it increases horsepower? There are two main ways a cold air intake can increase power. Colder air. If the intake pulls air from outside the hot engine bay, intake air temperatures drop. Cooler air means better combustion. Less restriction stock intake systems often have. Small diameter tubing, resonators to reduce sound, paper filters, a cold air intake usually has. Larger diameter piping, smoother bends, high flow, reusable filter. Less restriction means the engine works less to pull in air. On most naturally aspirated cars, you might gain 5 to 15 horsepower. On turbocharged cars, the effect can be slightly more noticeable because turbos love unrestricted airflow. What about sound? Let's be honest, sound is a big reason people install them. A cold air intake makes the engine louder and more aggressive. On a naturally aspirated car, you'll hear deeper intake growl, louder induction noise. On a turbo car, you'll hear louder turbo spool, blow-off, valve sound, more suction noise. Sometimes the sound improvement feels like more power even if the actual gain is small. Does it improve throttle response? Yes, sometimes. Because airflow is less restricted, the engine can respond slightly quicker when you press the throttle. However, the difference depends on the car, the engine, the quality of the intake. On some cars, it's noticeable. On others, it's mostly sound. When it doesn't help, a cold air intake will not. Turn your car into a race car. At 50 horsepower, replace proper tuning. Also, if the intake pulls hot air from inside the engine bay, it can actually reduce performance. Heat soak is real. Hot air equals less dense air equals less power. That's why placement matters. Does it require a tune? On most modern cars, the ECU can adjust automatically using the MAF or MAP sensors. But for maximum gains, a tune helps unlock the full benefit, especially on turbo engines. Modify engines, high compression builds. Is it worth it? If your goal is better sound, slight power increase, better throttle feel, reusable filter, then yes, it's a solid first mod. If your goal is massive horsepower gains, then you'll need more than just an intake. Think of it as a supporting modification, not a miracle upgrade. A cold air intake helps your engine breathe better by pulling in colder air, reducing airflow restriction, improving induction sound, slightly improving throttle response. The gains are real but modest. It's one of the simplest and most affordable ways to wake up your car. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, share with another car enthusiast, and comment below, are you running a cold air intake on your build? See you in the next one.